I'm going, oh no, there's a bear, a cougar or something. And I get up out of my chair and I'm running in and I'm carrying my 44 mag, you know, expecting to run into the bear or the cougar. On the other side of the brush and trees was a family of 5 Asians up in the mountains on the ridge line, far away from civilization, and they did not drive past me to get there. They're standing there just looking at me, and I'm trying to talk with them. They're not saying anything, they're just looking at me. And it's a dad, a mom, an adolescent boy, a juvenile female, and a little boy, which at that time, I might add, I had audio recordings for an adult male, an adult female, an adolescent male, juvenile female, and a toddler. I had foot casts for the same, and they're right out there. But I didn't put all this together in my head. All I have is 5 human Asians in a family up here on the mountain with me, not talking to me, wondering where the heck did you come from? So now it's getting a little weird. So I shoo them off. This is my base camp, me and my dog. You guys go that way. Go. Well, they turn around, they start going. I go back to camp, I sit down. For about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, I'm just totally perplexed because this is Southern Oregon. Yeah. This is not Los Angeles. This is not the Bay Area. It's not Seattle or Vancouver, BC, where you have large Asian populations. We're in Southern Oregon, which is like 95, 98% white. What is this Asian family doing up here? Totally out of character. And I get up out of my chair and I run down the path that I sent them on, because I'm going to catch them because I got little kids. I get all the way to the other end of the path, the road. There's no way they could have got up there. Didn't hear a car. They just disappeared. So yes, they can shapeshift into anything they want.
Well, what I was curious about was when you had the site of the portal, you have the picture on the back cover of your book, shows the portal and figures in there.
Yeah.
Into their home planet.
Right.
And what is their form on their home planet? Was their form on their home planet?
I have never asked Zorth that question, and I've never been told that. That's a good question. Zorth asked me a while ago to start penning a second book, one that he intends on kind of dictating through Mindspeak. I told him I've got too much going on in my life right now. You know, we're trying to sell and buy a home. Yeah. I'm trying to join a group practice as a psychologist in Aberdeen and Lacey. Let that stuff settle down first, and then I'll sit down and we can start writing that book. That's a good question for me to ask him. Matter of fact, if any of you have questions for Zorth that you would like me to ask as I'm penning that book, send those questions to me. I would appreciate it, and I'll put those questions in front of him and put his answer in the book, provided he chooses to answer the question. Any other questions?
Yeah, I don't feel like that I want them to help me. I want to feel like I could help them a little bit.
Okay. There's pretty much nothing you can do. I hate to do that. And awesome, kind person, good heart, open mind. You officially qualify. They don't need your help. They don't want your help. The only help they needed was to get everybody over from their dying home world. That's been accomplished. Their focus is on helping us. Now, if they have a request of you or anybody else, they'll make it pretty clear. They don't really need our help. And people are concerned about me penning the book, putting the videos out. People are going to start going in the forest with their shotguns and start trying to kill these things. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Good luck.
When have you ever seen a bullet kill light? The forest is burning down. They're dying in the trees. When have you ever seen fire burn up light? We're beams of light. We're the orbs. You can't kill light. I used to have the position years ago, we need to prove that they exist. We need to lock up land, habitat for them. Now I understand what I know. They've been taking care of themselves for millions of years, and they're going to keep taking care of themselves. They don't need our help. That was very kind, though. You qualify on all 3 accounts. So just reach out to them, and they'll reach out to you. That in and of itself is going to be an awesome experience. And they'll help you, and they'll help family and friends. Yes?
Matt, could you speak a little bit about some of these old schoolers that are starting to approach you and say, we believe you?
I'm not going to give up any names.
No, you don't have to do that.
Right. I will tell you, over the last few years, and more so in the last few months, and I used to be an old schooler for the first 10 years, and an old schooler essentially theoretically believes that they're dumb giant mountain apes and aggressively pursue them out in the woods and use high-tech equipment like night vision, thermal imaging, all that kind of stuff. And I gave that up and switched over to habituating and now interactionists. They've been watching my YouTube videos. They've been hearing other people out there. They've been starting to have their own experiences of seeing orbs and mind speak and being zapped and having memories read through and everything else. And they're beginning to realize that this crazy Dr. J guy is right. So then I get the email or the PM, I apologize. I'm going to flip over to what you're promoting because I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's happening. There's a slow but sure movement happening, so it is cool. Any other questions? And then we need to call tonight so we don't go on forever because it's 10:45 and getting past some of your bedtimes. Yes. Go ahead.
You used the term, a medical term, earlier in your talk.
The shunt?
Dementia.
The what?
Dementia.
Yes.
It's also related to the term dimension. Can you comment on that?
Nope.
Something to think about, though, right?
Yeah, maybe. Thank you. But no, I can't comment. Haven't thought about it. Other questions? We got a few minutes left.
Will
Any
you
other
comment
questions?
on it in the future?
What?
Will you comment on it in the future?
Comment on what?
Dimension?
If Zorth thinks it's important enough to put it in the book,
Oh, great.
I'll do it.
All right, just need a little
If
bit
it's
more
not in the book, don't be offended by Zorth. Okay. Next question.
Meredith, just shout out Meredith.
Yes.
I thought we were going to sit out in case some things might happen. I thought we were going to all sit together.
We are sitting together.
Wasn't that on the program?
I did not put this program together.
And not my circus, not my monkey. Robert, what's your program?
Robert, did you read the program?
I wrote the program.
So Robert will respond to your question.
There you go. There you go. Robert, your floor.
He's got dementia. Or dimension. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We had a smaller group when we had the VIP dinner a couple months ago, and that gave us the capacity to go around in a circle and every person engaged the forest people from their heart. And this, I'm happy to say that everybody who wanted to be at this event, we were able to include them, but not with some anxiety, because this is a private home, there's limited parking, and you know, there's a septic system, and you know, it can barely handle the 40 people we had here. So that, when I turned it over to Matt, Matt did what he thought was important tonight, and whatever happened was appropriate for tonight. So I apologize if I misled anyone. I had an assumption that the format would resemble what it did last time, but it didn't.
So I'm going to comment on that.
Yeah.
More important than doing what we did last time, what I shared is what you all needed to hear. We don't have to do this collectively as a group, and quite frankly, the group's too big. There's too much light. When you go out in your own backyard, you need to keep it pitch dark. You need to turn off your porch lights, no campfire, no little flashlight, no lanterns, pitch dark. Why, Matt? Because their vibrational frequency is higher than ours. Therefore, they're outside our visual field of range. They're still there, so you might not see them, but you can physically feel them. Okay? When it's dark and you have the right ambient light, you can see their shimmering image. Head, shoulders, arms, legs, maybe even a faint red eye glow. If you have it pitch dark and the right ambient light, you can see them. If you've ever watched Arnold Schwarzenegger's Predator movie, and that alien punches his buttons on his arm and then he cloaks, but you can see that shimmering image, that's what it's like. So, the way I stumbled across the no lights policy was years ago with Cynthia up at SOA. It was starting to get dark. We had the lantern on the hood of the Suburban, and I, in the next couple minutes, was going to go over and turn that on. And we're standing about 15 feet away from the Suburban, kind of talking. And all of a sudden, that lantern, which was on the hood of the Suburban, close to the windshield on the flat part of the hood, didn't slide down the hood and over the front of the Suburban. It flew 15 feet that way and hit the ground.
Wow.
And then no lights. Okay? I guess we're instituting a no lights policy. The important thing about tonight's talk was go home and start doing this in your own backyard. We don't need to do this collectively in Joel and Nancy's backyard. You need to take what I've just taught you. You need to read the book. You need to watch the free 4-part video series of the Great Reveal on my YouTube channel. Start practicing what I'm teaching in your own backyard. You can sit out there alone. You can sit out there with 1 or 2 friends, but they better be like-minded friends. Don't sit out there with somebody who's a skeptic. Might be a kind person, might even have a good heart, but they have a closed mind. Don't sit out there with somebody with a closed mind. They will ruin what you're trying to get to happen. The forest people won't come in because of that closed mind. So be with like-minded people in your own backyard. One last question. We have time for one last question.
I don't have a question, but I really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to deal with the question after she's done.
And this was my 3rd attempt. I think I mentioned that to you. To being here, and I couldn't be here for the other 2. And I was questioning maybe I shouldn't even come tonight. And talk to Bobby, and just so grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We're going to deal with this question, then I have one last statement I want to make, and then we're going to wrap it up.
I was just wondering, do they help heal things like trees and animals if they're tree that's dying and perhaps it could be healed?
Well, they said we are guardians of the forest and we protect all who dwell within.
Yeah.
But if they see that it's time for the tree to go, they're going to let the tree go. Have they healed animals out there in the wild? Yeah, they have. Have they let others go? Yeah, they have. Cool thing about animals, by the way, two things I want to tell you, and then we're calling it a night. In my years of research, I can with 100% confidence tell you that some local forest people families keep coyotes as pets. Some. Some local forest people families keep cougars as pets. Over in the box is a young juvenile track in the upper right-hand corner. That was taken up on the logging road in one of my old research areas. There was a forest fire in southern Oregon that shut down the logging roads for 2 months. They finally reopened the logging roads. We were the first ones back into our area. And coming up this logging road and through the base camp and down the other logging road were these juvenile Bigfoot tracks. Along with these juvenile Bigfoot tracks were these cougar tracks. And some of the cougar tracks were on top of the juvenile Sasquatch track. So at that point in time we thought, uh-oh, the cougar is stalking this juvenile. Well, then we came back 2 weeks later, and the young juvenile tracks were coming back up the road where it came from, through the base camp and down the road. And guess what was going with it? Cougar tracks. There was no way that cougar was stalking that juvenile for 2 weeks. So local families, some, have coyotes as pets. So if you have coyotes in the area, you might have the forest people there. Some keep cougars, okay? So that's the one thing I said, then one more thing, and then we're going to call it a night. And I can't emphasize this enough. What I'm sharing with you is not, emphasis on the word not. Capital N, capital O, capital T, bold font, italicized, underline. Not. What I'm sharing with you tonight is not the beginning of a new religion. It's not. I am not some guru. I'm not changing my name. This is my own opinion. I know others vary with their opinions. I'm sharing you mine. I'm not going to change my name to what I think is some silly guru name. Because I'm now a teacher of the Sasquatch. That's garbage to me. It doesn't work for me. I'm still Matt. I was Matt, I am Matt, I will always be Matt. And last but not least, public service reminder, they, the Janu, the Bigfoot Forest people, the Beings of Light, who are the orbs, they view themselves as children of God. They do not view themselves as gods. They do not want to be worshipped as deity, thought of as deity. Zorth made it clear we all have the same souls, we all come from the same God, and when we die we're all going back to the same God. This is not a new religion. I am not your guru. And they do not want to be deified. I'm keeping it real. I'm Matt. They're the forest people. They're our brothers and sisters. And they want to get to know you. So I suggest you listen to what you've been taught, what you're going to read if you haven't read it already, and just go out in your backyards and get to know them. Okay? I'll still be teaching what I've been taught. Doesn't make me a guru. Don't want to be a guru, but I will continue to be open and honest with what I know. As long as Zorth has use for me to do what I'm doing, I will do it. When he says, thank you, I think we're done, I'm done. Not going to draw this out. If he says we're done, I'm not going to start making up crap. I'm just going to say, I'm done. Not a religion, not a guru, they're not deities. Go home, get to know your brothers and sisters. Okay? Thank you for being here.
Thank you.